Good afternoon. I thought I'd do a video. I'm about bored to tears with this quarantine mess going on. But I was going to do a little video on what makes Grizzly a Grizzly and why I chose a Grizzly. This is a 2018 Grizzly and some of the modifications I've done to it. But, I'll be honest with you. I've never owned a utility before. I've never been as happy as with one before either. In the past, I've always ridden sport bikes, the old YZ450. YZ450 also, Honda 450s. Oh, God, it goes back 500 Quadzillas, 250Rs, so on and so forth. I was in the market for a utility, and I couldn't decide on what I wanted, and I looked for a couple of years. And I had to make a list on, decision on, what I would like, what I'm looking for in a utility. When you become an old fart, your riding style changes. It changes dramatically. But I found out the hard way. These don't handle like sport bikes. But in a whole, this thing has performed. This is 2018. It's performed absolutely flawless, never had an issue. It's a 708. But what I was looking for in an ATV, I wanted steel racks. I hate plastic racks. I hate them. I wanted locking differential. I wanted power steering. And I wanted, front to rear braking, individual braking. That was a big factor with me. On this one here, I did install the nightlight on the front. I researched that. The nightlight, it works great. It does. It's very durable. You ever seen the video on that? It's totally incredible. Where they cut it in half, they do all this testing on it, submerge it in waters, blah, blah, blah. It's performed flawlessly. I have put Ricochet. Let me get down here. Oh, getting old. I put the Ricochet A-arm guards, front to rear, so on and so forth. As they say, the best thing you can change on an ATV is the tires. I went with an ATP Terracross. And I do have tire jack in them. There's nothing, oh my God, that tire jack's an awesome product. But these are the Terracross RTs, the regular tires. They do excellent job. In the reviews, I read something though. It said they had excellent flotation. I really didn't know what that meant. I found out the hard way up at Hatfield McCoy trails. They will float, and I'm used to sticking to the bottom where I have traction. It will raise up. It will float, but water wheelies are fun too. So no big deal. I did put the Copeland handguards on it. I just painted them before I put them on Master Bike. Believe it or not, I bought them at Home Depot. They're like $32 or something like that. Wasn't much at all. And oh, by the way, the nightlight's not but $37, and has an excellent wiring harness that comes with it. I have made some other modifications. The best modification, other than my tires, get you a good view of the tires, the ITP Terracross. They do an excellent job, and I'll be honest with you, when I first got them, I was concerned about adding weight and losing horsepower. Weight is horsepower. And I thought, man, I can't spin around the corners like I used to. The truth of it is, they do their job. They hook up. They hook up strong. They hook up very strong. I added the rear bumper. I think that's a Bison rear bumper. Here's tell you a shot here. And while I'm back here, I did add the, I believe it's called R2 Racing Tip. It was entirely too loud when I installed it. And what I did is I took steel wool and packed it in there, hard. And it quieted it out quite some. My issue, the only issue that I didn't like on the Grizzly, on the 708, and I've heard the others do the same thing, is it did run on the warm side, temperature-wise. And I didn't like that at all. And one of the best things that I've done to it inside here, I've added my EGK, if you can see it, my EGK, and it cooled it down tremendously. And oh my God, the performance has picked up tremendously. Low gear, I can carry a lot further. I haven't played with all the settings on it, but the performance is dramatic difference. I mean dramatic difference. I did install the factory Yamaha box, and what I did, let me open it up here. You see my junk inside. First aid kit, my tools, my Superflow air compressor, toilet paper in the bag there to keep from absorbing moisture. I shouldn't have mentioned that. I'll get hijacked on the trail. Somebody's wanting toilet paper. Just grab a squirrel or something. Or if you see a squirrel running around with a brown mark on his back, hey, you know I've been there. Don't eat that one. You got to do what you got to do. But what I did in the back of the box, I added, you can't see the bottom plug, but I put power to the back. Maybe you can see it now. There's a bottom plug also. I can plug up my telephone and my charger to my headset on my helmet. The plugs are located right there. And then I put a toggle switch right over here. And because at night, when you're out and about, if you can see it, you know, lit up in here, it lights up extremely bright. I have you can get them at the auto parts store, LED light on both sides, and it lights it up extremely bright in here. But I put I've installed a little, all they do is they just stick to the inside, and they are super bright, especially at night. But the power in the back has helped me tremendous, because you know, if you're out and about, you do your night riding, it just helps tremendously, you know, to see what you need. But anyway, there's so many little things that I've done here and there that I've really enjoyed. I've just enjoyed this bike immensely. There was a lot of other bikes. I like the Can-Ams. Honda, you can't beat them. I held off for a long time, because the Yamaha, I was hoping they'd come out with a a two-cylinder, I'm sorry. But I held off for the longest time for a two-cylinder, and thinking that Yamaha was going to do that. But when I got to studying on it and thinking about it, I thought, well, their single-cylinder's been, you know, flawless for years. And I thought, how fast can I go to the woods? Well, it does more than I need. It really does. This bike's been Hatfield McCoy many times. Double black diamond hills, you name it. I hit some hills not long ago. I gotta be honest with you. I was talking to Jesus real serious when I was going up them. It got my attention. I swore I wasn't going to do that again though. But it has performed flawless. I'm trying to remember it. I think it is let me see. Yeah, there it is. KFI winch on the front. And a lot of people pick at me. I do keep my bike rather clean, or try to. But I found a new product, and I wanted to share with you that I really like. If I find it in here, you have to excuse my mess. My garage is in here somewhere. I thought it was here, right here. It's a new product called Flowgenics, and I had to store everything inside. I was going to take it out to my shop, but anyway, this new product, Flowgenics, I found that works extremely well, because on my helmets, I got some helmets up here on the shelf, you can put it on anything. The Flowgenics, you can put it on rubber, plastic, you name it, and I even put it on my old jacket up there, my old leather coat. I put it on it. You can put it on everything, plastic, rubber. It doesn't affect your goggles. The difference is, it doesn't just beat up water. The water sheets off of it, and it just sheets off, and the mud doesn't stick to the bike. And underneath, that's how I keep it so clean underneath. Man, I got this thing coated. Even my exhaust, I've done it it withstands the heat very well, extremely well, but the water sheets off, and along with the dirt and everything else. And when you get ready to clean up, just take a hose to it, and it's done. But there's so many features about the Yamaha that I like, and like I said, the Hondas you can't beat them. A little down on the horsepower. I've got this one where it runs the way I want it. Made some airbox modifications. That's out on KC ATV we're on. That was another, I watched him for the longest time when I was trying to decide on a bike a few years back. And I watched them, and I really enjoyed them. I watched Cubex out of Canada. That's some of my favorites on YouTube. And of course, you can't forget about Quadding Suits. The dude's hilarious. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. But I've learned a lot by watching KC's and KC ATV videos and how they're performed. And there was a lot. You know, it was a pretty good decision to make. I came close to a Can-Am, but at that exact time, they were having issues with the key system. You know, if you do your own work like I do, you do all your service and all your mechanicing, I wasn't going to take it in every time to get a light reset, you know, where you had it serviced. But anyway, I did coat this thing down with Flowgenics, put it on the seat, put it on the handlebar, put it on the rear box, because the dust doesn't stick to it. It just blows off. And if it doesn't get it off, yeah, just hose it down, it sheets right off with the Flowgenics on there. I didn't show you. They actually have little mirrors built into these Copeland handguards, but they do repel the briars and stuff when you run the outlaw trails. It really helps. But if you're thinking about a Grizzly, fine and dandy. It's great. It works great. You'll enjoy it. The Can-Ams, you can't beat a Rotex engine. You can't. They're all good. The Polaris, they're good. Polaris, I didn't like the all-wheel braking. I didn't care for. I hated the plastic racks. And when I locked my four-wheel drive in, I want it locked in, and I want a differential lock. But that's my changes I made. I hope that helps somebody out there. If nothing else, it kept me from getting totally bored during this quarantine mess. And I'm like the old Honda commercial. I just want to ride. But everything, all our parks in North Carolina, they're closed up. State parks, everything, they're locked up. But I'm going out behind the house in a little while. I'll hit the woods. Somewhere back there in the back there, way on back there. We'll go for a ride. And get rid of some of the boredom. You guys have a good day. And hope to see you on the trail.